Hi guys, and welcome to the State of Crypto, your one-stop source for all crypto-related news. I'm your host Martin, and this is episode 83. Ripple's new hire, WeChat uses blockchain to track payments, and Chinese bank invests in crypto wallet. Now guys, if you're catching this stream live, welcome, and if you're catching the replay and have any suggestions for us, please leave us a comment below, right? We really want to know what you're thinking now. If you want the latest crypto-related news, make sure you subscribe, you hit that like button and that bell so you're notified when we go live. And if you want to keep on chatting with us once the stream is done, you can join us on the Discord. The link is in the description. Happy Monday, guys, I guess. So I hope you're having a great beginning of the week. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate that you guys do take the time to come in and watch the news with us. Sorry about starting an hour later than usual for you guys. I did state yesterday that Mexico did have a time change, and I'm on Mexico time zone right now. So by the time I get out of work, I just run through the same steps. Right now, for you, it's an hour. You guys are an hour ahead of me. So I guess we'll be back to regular schedule starting on Sunday, when you guys do also your fall back on your time zones, and then we'll all be on the same schedule. So, anyways, like I said, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for watching, and let's get on with the news. Right, this first article, right? I like the title of it. I really can't get into it in detail. It's like a paid subscription. So it says, China to launch own cryptocurrency will work with WeChat and Alipay. We already knew that. We've talked about that before, right? China running their own currency. We've talked about it in a couple of streams. So again, nothing really surprising. And we knew that WeChat and Alipay were on the list of companies that they were going to work with, right? And then they also included new ones now that we can see here on the article. It says Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, the Bank of China, not the People's Republic Bank of China, but the Bank of China, the Agricultural Bank of China, Tencent, UnionPay, and Association of Banks and Alibaba, right? So we knew there were a couple of people that were, or companies that were integrating this. They were going to be in charge of distributing the token, etc. So again, it's not really like a news article. I do like that they're now making it official, because back then they were still saying like, no, we're not going to come out with with our own digital currency. No, we're not going to launch in November, So they were denying a lot of things. Apparently right now they're actually owning up to them. So again, interesting that this is coming out, right? So let's move on to the next article. This is regarding the United Arab Emirates quest for crypto regulation catches up to the pace with an official draft. Now, Securities and Commodities Authority, the SCA, the leading regulator in the United Arab Emirates, has revealed a draft policy for crypto asset regulation. Now, the draft has addressed topics relating to blockchain and cryptocurrencies. It seeks to provide a clear framework for regulating and working with digital assets within the region. Now, the United Arab Emirates has continued to be a pace setter when it comes to the adoption of crypto and the blockchain. Now, the country was among the first to come up with a de facto law for the new asset class in the world. When the move towards complete regulation will give cryptocurrencies more confidence while operating within the UAE's jurisdiction. Now, the authority has invited all parties concerned with the capital market in the country, from dealers of various categories, investors, intermediaries, financial analysts, researchers, media, and interested parties and others, to review the draft decision and express their views on it by no later than the 29th of October in order to get acquainted with the observations of industry and the views of dealers and those interested in the market and domestication. Now, their proposals to be taken into consideration when preparing the final wording of the system. So again, they are asking people what they think about the draft, right? And I believe that's pretty cool. That is what you should do in a democracy. Now, the draft will take care of issues relating to the issuance of crypto assets, circulation of the assets, and custody activities. The focus is being channeled towards protecting the investors and minimization of financial crimes. Again, it is pretty cool that they're coming up with like a formal regulation where they seek to protect the user from hacks, from like Ponzi schemes, from illegal investing activities on crypto. Again, problems that we know exist, that whenever there's opportunity, people try to take advantage of someone else. But again, them coming out with this regulation will certainly mark the tune for a lot of other countries to follow, right? So it is a pretty good thing that they're setting this up, and that they're having people come in and discuss it, right? Now, for some reason, I'm gonna like stop using Batman. It's just sending crazy amounts of announcements, and he didn't used to do that before, but now like every 5 minutes I get like, new to Bat, learn more, get involved with the Bat community. I don't get them from any other website that I visit except just them, man. And it's just annoying as hell. They didn't used to do that before. Anyways, what is going on with the crypto market? Yesterday, indecision, right? I'm doing most of what happened the prior day. Not really a bearish engulfing candle, but certainly a lot of money flowing out of the crypto space. 2.81% from an opening of 244.0 billion to a closing of 237.34 billion. Right now, having a slight gearing day, going up 0.61%, sitting at 238.79 billion. So again, a little bit of money flowing in. I'm not too worried about this yet. Let's go look at Bitcoin dominance and figure out what it's doing. Bitcoin dominance declining for the third day in a row, dropping below 70%. As we can see, yesterday dropped heavily, right? Yesterday dropped 0.76% from an opening of 70.50, closing at 69.97, and right now sitting at 69.90. Again, is it good? Is it bad? Well, it depends on your outlook, right? If you're pro Bitcoin, you want Bitcoin to still dominate. If you're pro crypto, you want it to be a little bit more shared. And then if you're pro any other altcoin, then you definitely want your altcoin to gain more dominance, right? So again, is it good? Is it bad? It really depends on your outlook. I do believe it's good that it is a little bit more diversified, let's say. Hi, anonymous user. Besides Bitcoin, what else are on my radar? Well, Ripple for sure because of Swell. Ethereum because of the fork that they're going to come out with on December the 4th, I think they said. And then let's see, of the more smaller ones, Explode, ETHPLODE. It's a project that I'm certainly following. I did a small article on there, did a small coverage on them in an earlier stream. They're quite a new project. They are having their second airdrop, so again, I do believe that they might be good. Icon, although I haven't gone too much into detail in the project, I do know that they're doing stuff that it's a little bit interesting. Who else? Binance, they do have a use case. They are the exchange, so of course they're gonna have long-term use, right? Trying to figure out who else I can point, man. There was a lot of talk about Seller here a couple of weeks ago, almost a month ago. A lot of people coming in asking about Seller. Bat for sure, man. I do use the Bat browser, so again, I do follow that. And I would say those are the main ones that I have on my radar right now. Do you have any other ones that I should consider or that you would like me to look at? That would be a good question. So if you have any of those anonymous users, do please put them on the chat. Now, Link. Chainlink, man. I haven't done a lot of research on them. They do seem to be a little bit solid, man. I can do a little bit of analysis once I finish doing the main market, for sure. That's usually the way it rolls. So I will do it for sure, but just let me get through the regular stuff, and then when I'm done, I'll actually write it down, and I'll go back and look at Link, right? And we've looked at Link before in the stream. We do have stuff charted out for it, and I'll just show you that real quick. Someone had asked about Link before. We had like some stuff traced back when, but again, I would certainly look at it for you once I just go through the rest of the stuff, man. But thanks for asking, though. Like I said, I'm not too much into that coin. I haven't done any research into it, so I will definitely check it out, though. Yeah, no problem, man. That's what we're here for. So anyway, so right now, like I said, we're dropping down a little bit on dominance. That's good. Depends on your outlook, right? It's a good, it's a bad. Depends entirely upon how you want to handle this, what you're comfortable with, where you want to invest. So of course, if you want other coins to pick up more power and be less susceptible to Bitcoin shifts, then it's better. I do believe that the more that the cake is like, the more slices of the cake that are equal, the better it is for the market, right? Because then if one coin goes down, then you still have a lot of the weight on the other side that are still going to hold up. That's probably going to take a while, though. So, I mean, is it good, is it bad? I do believe that if Bitcoin does lose a little bit of dominance, it's good for everyone. So, again, it's entirely my opinion, though. So, let's go on to Bakkt, right? How about Bitcoin options could change the crypto market. Now, Bakkt announced that it would launch Bitcoin options on its platform on December the 9th. I think they announced that last week. I wasn't here to cover it, but again, I did try to go in through a couple of the news from last week. This is an article from today, though. So while such options are already available at unregulated exchanges like Durbit in the Netherlands outside the United States, the introduction of such products in the world's biggest financial center is expected to pump up volumes of liquidity in the market, into the crypto market, right? So options allow investors to traders to do different things, and it will facilitate a new and important approach to investing. Basically, covered call strategies, for instance, right? That's what Matt Hogan's saying. He's the director of research at Bitwise Asset Management. Bakkt options contracts are European-style contracts, meaning that they will only be exercised on the date of expiration. And basically, he's goes on to say, my guess is that they wanted to align the expiration of the option contracts with the expiration of their monthly futures. It will also give them a leg up over competitors like the CME. And as with everything, he's stating, Hogan is still stating, I expect that it will take some time for volumes in the option space to grow. And again, that is normal, right? You launch it, it's going to take a while. Some people are going to come in, test the water soon. But with time, you're going to start to picking up a volume and momentum, right? Anyways, with Bakkt, Bitcoin options set to launch before the end of the year. If interest from sophisticated investors can translate into an influx of serious cash, that would go a long way toward maturing the crypto market. So again, different tools for investors, right, would drive more adoption into the coin, right? Because a lot of people like to speculate differently. Some people like puts and calls, right, your options. Some people like the ETFs. Some people like just the regular day trading, swing trading, hodl, right? So long-term investment, let's call it. So again, the more options that are out there for the other types of investors, the more money you can start capturing into these market, right? So also, I have this one. I think it's funny. It says, the rumors of Bitcoin's death in China have seemingly been exaggerated. According to Primitive Ventures founding partner Dovi Wan, an investor known for her insights into the Chinese market, China Merchant Bank has just announced an investment in BitPi. It's basically the Bitcoin wallet with the longest history and most users in China. Now, China Merchant Bank, according to News Bitcoin, like this website, right, is a mid-sized financial institution in the nation with hundreds of branches. Again, I'm not in China. I don't know this bank, so I'll go with what they say, right? I have to believe them right now. According to Wan's analysis, this is the start of the Chinese nationalization of the cryptocurrency and Bitcoin industry, which comes in response to President Xi's remarks and the massive public response thus far. So again, like we said, there was a spike of volume searches on WeChat regarding blockchain and Bitcoin derived from the news from President Xi Jinping, right? So again, if it's not going to drive adoption now, it's certainly going to drive up awareness. And with awareness comes like people wanting to learn about it, and when they learn about it, then they want to get into it. And once they get into it, they're hooked, and then we're gonna start seeing more money flow in. However, how much of the Bitcoin do we really want to let China hold? That is the question, right? Because if China is becoming crypto friendly or blockchain friendly, because he didn't actually say cryptocurrency, he actually said blockchain. So if they become blockchain friendly, which the underlying thing is crypto, and they start buying it in masses, then they're gonna hold the largest position of Bitcoin, or they could hold the largest position of Bitcoin. We do know that they're ahead in the mining industry, right, for Bitcoin, and we do know that there's some projects that are going to be launched in the U.S., Texas area, like mining farms, right, that are going to be self-sustainable with renewable resources. So is it good? Is it bad? Well, I do believe that it's better if China doesn't hold the majority of anything, because again, if you hold over 51% of the mining, you can do 51% of tax, right? You can deny transactions to be made. You can stop or slow down transactions. So again, it's not good that anyone owns over 51% of Bitcoin. It's also not the best if it's better if it's just well divided, right? Anyways, let's go into Bitcoin chart and see what's going on with Bitcoin. Right, yesterday this was looking very nice, right? We were having a nice green day. We were doing the stream. Anyways, I told you guys. Nice impulse up. It was looking good. Right now, still looking healthy though. Going down a little bit, trying to bump up again. We're probably creating some kind of bullish divergence. We'll see it in the short term. I'm not sure yet. I do know we have some bullish divergence in Ethereum. I posted up on the Discord again. So what's going on above that 20 MA, right? I told you guys we're sitting outside of this Bollinger Band. We're gonna want to get back into it, and we did get back into it. Right now, we're within that upper limit. And we're within this area of support and resistance that we had traced, right? That we've used it before as support and resistance. Again, we're just floating within that area. Outside of the downsloping channel that we were in, right? So again, is it good? Is it bad? We're still within this $10,234 range and the $8,983. Right? We're sitting at $9,258. So again, is it good? Is it bad? So long as we're within this range, I think it's good, right? We need to consolidate a little bit. Run again, right? We need to flag, right? I told you back up sloping consolidation gets you tired, then you break down. We know that here on the 4 hour we're doing a full flag. We pumped to the upside. Right now we undid it, but again we probably created some sort of divergence and broke us down. Anyways, what else is going on? Positive momentum starting to stagnate right now with this candle. So again, if this goes a little bit higher, we might get a new green bar going on. Is it good? So far, if it gets a little bit higher than this, it will be good. If it stays down here and it goes green, then it's bad because we will be creating some sort of bearish divergence. What's going on with the RSI? We're sitting bought at 60.36. Again, not much going on. Still within that positive island. We're still good here. We had this bullish divergence develop, right? That saw us pop to the upside. We talked about that earlier in another stream. Anyways, that's it for Bitcoin on the daily. Let's go into the 4 hour because everything right now is happening on the 4 hours, right? Yesterday we talked about this divergence. We said, look, man, on the 4 hours you're developing bearish divergence, right? Watch out, price action to the downside. We are getting that. We're seeing it play out again. These new 4 hour candles, the one that's just starting, we're starting to see this movement to the upside. We're facing rejection at the 20 MA with contraction of the Bollinger Bands. Again, contraction of the Bollinger Bands is good. It does take volatility out of the market. So again, we'll probably stagnate, and then we can do another explosive move. It doesn't tell us if the move is going to be to the upside or downside. Then we have to look at the charts and patterns that develop for us to be able to tell that. Now, well, this was expected. We talked about this yesterday. So again, I'm not too surprised that this is happening. We had it in the 4 hours. We had it on the 1 hour. So again, like I said, not too surprised with this happening. Sitting a little bit more neutral on the RSI, 57.14, and making negative momentum. Now, the negative momentum that we're making right now will be negative 62.94, and over here will be 88. So again, this is slightly lower, right? That's fine. We're certainly much higher. Something that could potentially happen is, we drop a little bit more, have a little more negative momentum build, then we create some kind of hidden bullish divergence, right? We talked about this. You go like that on your price, right, on the lower part, and then you would go like this on your oscillator, right? So again, that would be hidden bullish divergence that could potentially see price continuation. Price continuation right now could potentially be more price action to the upside. So again, not too worried about Bitcoin yet. So long as we don't break that 8,983, I'm still okay with it. We should wrench around here for a little bit, hopefully, and then run to the upside again, depending on what we develop, right? So that's it for this on the 4 hour. Let's go into the 1 hour. What is happening on the 1 hour? See, we had here that divergence that I was talking about, right? That bearish divergence on the two indicators or oscillators, right? Oscillators, the MACD and the RSI. So again, we were calling this out yesterday at like stream time, or an hour after stream time. This was still developing, so we set price action to the downside, and look at that, man. Beautiful, still playing out. Are we doing anything that is bullish yet? Well, not really, man. From this island to this island, we kind of are, but not really strong yet. This would be going lower. This would certainly be going lower still. So we're creating some sort of bullish divergence with the MACD, not so much with the RSI yet. With the MACD, we're doing that, and we should expect to see price action to the upside. We haven't seen it play out yet. So again, not very strong. Yeah, thanks, man. Anonymous user, I appreciate it. Do you want to go by anonymous user, or would you want me to call you something else? Do let me know, and I can call you whatever you choose. You just appear as an anonymous user on the chat. So yeah, if you guys like what we do, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, right? Thanks for the help with that, man. I appreciate it. So like I said, we're doing this right now, right? So we just have it with the MACD. That's it, man. Nothing else going on. Again, we might try to run to the upside slightly. We could even still come a little bit lower, make a little bit more divergence, right? And then we'll see where we go from that. Something that could happen, we could come to this bottom part of the blue line, touch and bounce, kind of like what we did here, right? Touch and bounce. Something else that could happen certainly is come down here to this 8,900, right? Close something along these lines with less momentum, right? Creating some stronger bullish divergence, certainly from this island to this island, right? Going slightly lower with less negative momentum, right? Creating that divergence that could pop us to the upside. But other than that, not really much yet going on. So again, that's it for this. Let's go on to Ethereum, man. I do have a couple of articles to go through, man. There were a lot of news that came out today. Some of them were really, really good. Anyways, the new proposed Ethereum 2.0 upgrade will eliminate many of the existing shortcomings. For example, once fully deployed, Ethereum 2.0 will have 64 shards, which are sets of partitions, that will function simultaneously and have independent transaction history and state. Now, the new execution environments can be created as a separate segregation mechanism on top of it, providing enhanced utility and features through WebAssembly. Now, moreover, the introduction of proof of stake as a consensus protocol in the new Ethereum 2.0, the transactions will be considered final and would not be subject to the same 51% attack reversal tactic as in proof of work, which is how Bitcoin works. And again, that's how you can get stuff undone, right? If 51% of the holding parties agree that it didn't happen, you can reverse and you can change the ledger. So the immutability of it certainly becomes vulnerable. Anyways, despite the obvious positives and the financial and technological opportunities that will become available with the new protocol mainnet, several key risk areas that exist that must be addressed soon. Now, the necessary work is extremely technical, and not many people are qualified to turn a complex research paper into a practical solution. Another point is that currently all the work that is being done by several teams located in different parts of the world, with different agendas and different timelines. So everyone is working towards the same goal, but with the inherited friction of having distributed teams is present. Now, the transition to Ethereum 2.0 is so complex that it involves wrapping up the current network and placing it inside the new chain so that it will run together for a period of time. Now, there's also the significant chance that certain existing functionalities and smart contracts will break, and there is the potential that hard fork split as Ethereum 1.0 and Ethereum 2.0 will coexist, and the transition might not be successful, with some node operations choosing to run the old chain. Now, there are numerous of enterprises that are engaging in production usage on Ethereum 1.0. For example, Banco Santander and Societe Generale have issued bonds, right? We talked about that. And once Ethereum 2.0 is fully operational, it will enable a whole new set of financial models that currently don't exist. So again, it's good that they're like trying to still grow Ethereum, even though it's having scalability problems. Network was certainly being used up a lot, right? Like 80% of the network was being used up. So again, them coming up with this, it's certainly going to maybe free up more space. It's going to make it run a little bit smoother, so that more operations can come on board. What is going on with the Ethereum still? So Aztec Protocol is a smart contract-backed privacy solution for Ethereum. It has officially kicked off its 30-day ignition ceremony, that's what's being called, which is a trusted setup process that will successfully underpin Aztec's privacy features. If even one of the effort's 260 plus participant partakes in the ceremony, honestly, right? So again, launch on October 25th. The ignition event now puts Aztec on course to becoming the inaugural privacy network activated on Ethereum. The chief executive officer Thomas Pocock explained last month. A good analogy is a group of people shuffling a deck of cards. Each person shuffles a deck. In Aztec ceremony, that is the process of adding randomness into the transcript and then hands the pack to the next participant. Now, once the shuffling is finished in a month's time, the ensuring randomness will support zero-knowledge proofs that power the project's loan smart contracts. The so-called Aztec cryptography engine, or ACE. The ceremony is akin to the Powers of Tau event that Zcash privacy coin completed last year. Now, once ACE is live, the system will allow users to make private Ethereum transactions in two distinct ways. One involves direct creation of Aztec tokens that can be used anonymously, and the other involves wrapping, so that's called wrapping, which will entail using ACE to peg private tokens to other assets like Ethereum or ERC20. That second one, I'm a little bit more confused as to how it's going to work, so I do need to do a little bit more research in that one. But the first one seems pretty straightforward, right? You just create the token, build it, deliver, and it all works on like zero-proof knowledge, right? Yeah, Anonymous, I do believe it's interesting, man. I do believe that having certain privacy features on Ethereum will certainly be beneficial for a couple of transactions, right? Certainly will help with that, but I'm not sure how many regulators are going to like that. So again, we do know that regulators want to see transparency in this. They still want to control, right? Regulators want to come in and take over still, tell you what to do with your crypto. They want to know how you're moving it, when you're moving it to, how much you're holding of it. So again, for them, they want to have that transparency. But again, having this will certainly like throw a wrench in their engine, and we'll see how they cope with that. Because it's certainly one of the good features of crypto is that you can have certain privacy if you choose to do so. Let's go look at Ethereum. See what's going on with ETH. Ethereum on the daily, yesterday getting a little bit of dominance, 1.51%. Right now gaining a little bit more, 0.24. Sitting at 8.32 of market cap. Again, Ethereum sitting at $183.32. Yesterday we had this kind of like bull flag developing on the 4-hour, right? And bull flag, and then we pump to the upside. Anyways, sitting above that 20 MA with some contraction starting to develop within the boundary bands. We are still within the symmetrical triangle, right? This upsloping channel that we're in, right? This one I'm going to highlight right now. You can see touch points, right? This upsloping channel and this other downsloping channel, right? The more major one. So basically, to get back into it, we're still within the major downtrend, right? But right now we're upsloping, and once we get to the end of this triangle, we're going to determine if we're going to break to the upside or downside. Now, if Bitcoin does pump again, will certainly take us to the upside. If Bitcoin dumps, will certainly take us to the downside. Right now, we are just trading within the triangle. If we wanted to do this like a different kind of flag, right, for the daily, I have to take this like this, and then basically this goes like that, more or less. And we'll be creating like a pennant, right? We have the bull pull and then a pennant, and then we should probably break to the upside. That's still yet to be determined, though. We do need to look at the smaller time frames to see what it's going to do. Right now, basically, we didn't undo like we did with Bitcoin, right? With Bitcoin, we kind of undid the prior day. Right now, we're kind of like basically trying to undo the prior day again, but here we didn't get that far down. Anyways, still making positive momentum, sitting at 53.73 on the RSI, which is neutral again, so not much going on here that will tell us what it's going to do. I don't have any other divergence except for this bullish divergence that we called out and popped to the upside. So let's go into a more micro scale. Let's go into the 4-hour, man. So on the 4-hour, we also had this bearish divergence that we developed, right? We set price action to the downside. We are getting it. On the 1-hour, we're developing some sort of bullish divergence. We'll see if it played out or not. I did post it on the Discord, so I do want to go back and touch on that. Anyways, that kind of bull flag I was talking about, pump to the upside. We didn't break it to the measure of the pole. So bull pull, we didn't hit that high. We were facing resistance up here on the basically to break out of this downsloping channel. So right now, like I said, we're still within the structure, trying to figure out where we're gonna go. I wouldn't be surprised. Right now, we're sitting above that 20 MA around 4 hours, right? We're starting to like channel within the Bollinger Bands. I wouldn't be surprised if we come and touch this bottom part again. It wouldn't be weird or unhealthy or anything like that. We will still be within the structure, and then we maybe get that rejection of lower prices at this bottom part of the upsloping channel that will propel us to the upside and break or pull to higher prices, right? So again, developing negative momentum still. So from our previous negative momentum island would be here. We're obviously much higher, so we're just going with the market. Nothing here going on, nothing here on the RSI as well. So let's go into the 1 hour, man. Oh, sorry, on the RSI sitting at 57.40, which is neutral as well. So what's happening on the 1 hour? On the 1 hour, we had this divergence. I called it out in the morning. Look, man, we got that pop to the upside that I was talking about, right? It was short, man. It wasn't that big. It was like from 180 to 185, right? So like a $5 pop. Anyways, if you were on the Discord, you probably noticed that I did type that out, and it's here, right? Like we were developing this candle. So I did said like bullish divergence developing on Ethereum on the 1 hour. So anyways, it's there, and it's there forever. I don't delete stuff. Anyways, sitting at 58.89 on the RSI. So again, very neutral. Positive momentum islands being very small. This is when I hate to have the MACD line and the signal line here, because then they get so close together that it just makes it really hard to see what is going on here. So again, right now we are making it positive, right? Now the question is it higher? 0.08, 0.04. So this is definitely higher than this, and this is lower. So again, you will be making hidden there we go, hidden bearish divergence with your MACD, which is price continuation. So again, if you look at this like this, right, we are within like a range, and we're just tightening, right? So tightening of the Bollinger Bands we're seeing as well. So we could, if we tighten a little bit more with the Bollinger Bands, we could expect to see a violent move, which is what we usually expect to see when volatility leaves the market. So again, price continuation could probably just mean sideward motion right now, because that's what we've been doing, right? We've just been moving sideways from here to here, if you want to call it, right? So we're just like flowing back and forth. We still need to figure out where else we are going to go. One second. I do need to reload. There we go. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit better. There we go. Changing the track real quick. So anyways, like I'm saying, we're sitting above that 20 MA right now. We kind of touched it twice. This one was pretty close. We didn't quite touch it here. But we touched it here and rejected lower prices. So again, is it good? Is it bad? Well, would like to see it come down here, maybe make a little bit less negative, at least close that same level, make a slightly less negative momentum that we had here, create that bullish divergence, and then pump to the upside. But again, we talked about what could happen, right? We could come down here, we could come up here. You know, we could certainly come somewhere on this area. I do have a line here. I can't remember what it is. I have to go into more micro scale to be able to look at it. It's probably the 0 line from my fibs that I traced that I need to adjust to like consider this low. Anyways, since I'm not doing fibs right now, I'm not worried with retracing. I'm worried with what's going to happen more in the short term, not so much the long term with the coins right now. So anyways, we'll certainly have to go back and like rework the fibs, right? Because then I could definitely take this lower point here. So from this high to this low, and then see where we're at. But since we have already hit valid retraces, I'll be more worried with the shorter term of the fibs. So I'll actually throw them up right now. Why not? It's fun to fib, right? So we'll go from this low to this high. There we go. Close enough. We've seen we made a valid retrace. We're right now ranging between the 382 and the 236. So again, we've even retraced and hit that 50%, then bounce off it. Then we rejected higher prices at the 236, which would be at 188.38, right? And we're just ranging right now. We're within this area of the 382 and the 236. The 382 being at 181.59. So again, that's it for Ethereum right now. Let's go into Ripple, man. I do have 2 articles for Ripple. One of them is kind of crap, like a bad article, and the other one is a little bit better. So this one just says, why can't Ripple keep up with the crypto rally? Well, I have a question. Look at how this is performing, right? I'll go on the daily. look at how this is performing, right? From this fall on September 24th, we have not been able to recover to the previous high of September 20th. But if we will look at Ripple, we have recovered certainly a little bit better than Ethereum. We're certainly hitting prices of September the 20th already being this candle, right? So again, they're saying it's not rallying like the rest, but Ripple has been rallying steadily. Look at this up climb that we've seen. We did see a drop when Bitcoin dropped, but we just got that bounce as well of that 25 cent, and then pumped to the upside. So again, compare this to Ethereum, right? And look which one has been rallying better. So of course, we didn't get this large rally, right? We didn't get this large rally that Bitcoin had, but Ripple didn't need to do this rally because it had been rallying continuously. So again, I sometimes I see these articles and people just want this to like go to the moon for some reason, and this is healthy, man. You create a lot of support. You're generating different areas of support and resistance, right? We certainly have some support around this area that we're using, right, for this candle closes. So again, we're manufacturing support. We're bouncing off old support, and we're manufacturing new support. So making all stronger supports, let's say. So again, this article I don't quite like. One of the reasons they're quoting is that Ripple has a negative yield year to date. It's not that bad so far. It hasn't gained like the rest, but certainly not that bad. And the other one they're saying is Ripple betting on functionality, right? So is Ripple betting on functionality now? Ripple has never bet on functionality. Ripple has always targeted functionality. They want to be a coin that solves a problem. Opposite to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin was created to be a coin that solves a payment problem. It didn't work because then there were faster assets that came out, and then he found a place in store of value. So they're basically in this article complaining that Ripple is not a store of value, while the rest are stores of value, and that's what they're going up. And that is BS, man. Like, really, look at the graphs, look at the charts, look at what they're stating, man. That just the comments that they're making are not accurate, right? Is Ripple betting on functionality now? They've always bet on functionality. They're not changing their tune. So again, like, articles like this really get me going, man. So I'm just gonna skip on to the next. If you want to look at it, in my opinion, it really is just about an article. I just want to mention that. Anyways, I do have this other article. Ripple has set up an office in Washington, D.C., close to the U.S. regulators. Now the company has hired a former executive of Bank of America to do some talking with the SEC for them. Now, Ben Melnicki has announced his position at the official Twitter page. As per LinkedIn, and his CV includes Global Regulatory Counsel at blockchain crypto wallet provider, Chief Compliance Officer at Noble Bank International, Swap Dealer Compliance Director at Bank of America, and other high-ranking positions dealing with regulatory issues. Now, the page says that he has been working for Ripple full-time for a month already, which is interesting, right? He does it from October 2019 present day, so 1 month. Not really, like 28 days, depending on when he got in, what date. But again, here's the Bank of America stuff that he had. He had blockchain, so again, the wallet company, right? And Noble over here. So, but he just posted this October 28th. So this was a recent post saying that he's excited to join as head of regulatory affairs. So again, it's interesting that they're hiring him. Really makes you wonder what they want to push in Washington. Where else they want to push in Washington? Anyways, that's it for Ripple. Let's go look at what Ripple's doing. Let's look at dominance on the daily. Yesterday gained a little bit. Right now losing a little bit. So again, just okay. Above 5%, we're fine. So yesterday gaining 1.39. Right now losing 0.49. Sitting at 5.35. So again, over 5% is good with me. What is Ripple doing, man? Well, Ripple yesterday kind of had like a bearish engulfing candle of sorts, right? And then right now we're trying to make a green candle. But again, we're within the range, man. See, we've tried to break above 30 cents, right? At least the past 4 days we've gotten above it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have failed, man. We're rejecting higher prices. Not necessarily the best. Because let's say there's two things that can happen, right? Here is a pool of people. I'll draw with the brush. Here's a pool of people that have a certain amount of tokens it's not letting me put it through. That they want to sell, right? So there's two things that can happen. You still pump to the upside, right, and keep eating at this supply, and then it runs dry, and then you move to the next level of supply. Or your demand, dies out. There's no more people willing to buy at these prices, and then you kind of tank, and there's people willing to buy lower, right? So both are possibilities that could happen. Which one's going to play out? Well, I'm not liking how it looks right now. I liked it yesterday a little bit more, but right now, looking at this more in detail, I'm not really liking how it looks because, like I said, there is that possibility that you're probably eating up the supply, and right now failing to get that higher. Well, this just started like a couple hours ago, to be fair, but failing to get higher, failing to break back. We're rejecting also like this these upsloping channels of sorts, right? So, anyways, we had this flag, we pumped to the upside. We're undoing it right now. We're trying to pump to the upside again. Let's see how this plays out today. We're within that range of 29,894 and 27,911, right? So we're sitting at 29 cents. To give you the full detail, it's 29.657 cents. Again, like I said, we're within this range that we have been within for a while, right? At least since October the 14th, we kind of got into this range. Then we tried to break out of it for a day, right? We broke back into it. So again, see, within the past month or 15 days, if you want to say, we've hit that 30-cent mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Half of the time of the last 14 days, we've hit it, but we haven't done much after that. Hey, William James, thank you for being here, man. Thank you for saying hi. The swell will pump it. Yes, likely swell is in 10 days. I do expect to see a pump of sorts, right? Last year, within 2 weeks, it just pumped like crazy, right? And we can look at that on the chart, man. I think pre-swell was around here, right? So it was this spike. So look at this. Swell was somewhere around this area. I don't have the exact dates for last year. I do know it was somewhere around here. I think it was pre-drop. I think this day of swell kind of dropped. Anyways, look at this nice pump that we had pre-swell, right? Like, burst through the upside. No, it wasn't October the 2nd, I think. So maybe this was swell, right? Swell came out around these days, and then you had this, like, nasty drop. But again, look at this. Like, it just went, like, ballistics, right? So again, could it happen again? Maybe, man. Am I banking on it? I much rather see this slow growth, right? That looks healthy, than just see that like massive pump, because then there's gonna be a dump coming, right? So again, the healthier it looks, the better it is for everyone. Anyway, that's my thought on Ripple. So what is going on? Well, we're sitting within this range, sitting neutral on the RSI 5660, still making a negative momentum or positive momentum right now. Yeah, positive momentum right now, but very slightly, right? Anyways, let's go into the 4 hours. Sitting below that possible pump before launch, then dump. Yeah, I mean, certainly swell does bring a lot of speculation in, and the more people that put money in, a lot of people want to get out some positions that they can't. They'll wait for swell to happen, and as the news come in, you'll certainly dump. But we do see this happen a lot in this space, right? Pump and dump schemes, right? Not pump and dump. Buy the rumors, sell the news, right? So again, pre-swell, we're gonna start hitting a lot of rumors. I think MoneyGram is coming out on Friday with their quarterly earnings, and a lot of people want to go nuts for that for some reason. It doesn't reflect 100% on XRP and adoption, right? It's MoneyGram, it's another company. Yes, they're using the solution. Yes, they're pushing Ripple to bring more corridors on board. But again, looking at MoneyGram, for me, it's unrelated, right? It's like trying to say, oh, look at that pear tree. Oh, look at that apple tree. It has too many apples, right? It did really good because it has too many apples. He had a lot of fertilizer. Yeah, but that pear tree's over there, man. And the pear tree is not going to be producing until it gets more adoption. Could it certainly be that fertilizer that you're using comes from the pear tree? Yeah. And can that fertilizer go to other trees as well and then bring adoption? Yeah, for sure, man. But just because MoneyGram performs well, doesn't mean that Ripple has to pump, right? So again, people are just distracted, so they should just focus on what really matters, which is look at Ripple, look at Swell, and look at the news that are coming out. Anyways, what else is happening? Well, sitting below that 20 MA with some volatility leaving the Bollinger Bands, right? So we're getting some tightening going on. Starting to make negative momentum again. We're higher than our previous lows. So even from here to here, we would create some kind of hidden bullish divergence if we come to this low, because we don't have anything here on the negative islands. We'd have to come all the way down here, and we really don't want to come all the way down here, because then that would certainly mean that we're within this much larger range, which is the 27,911 and the 25,095. We do want to stay here and above. So again, that would put us within the 236, right? And that 236 and the 382. But we haven't come and hit the beginning of the retrace. We hit the beginning of the retrace zone at 236, right? 0.2886, but not the most common retraces, which happen between the 382 and the 618, which is up here. So again, we could certainly get somewhere around here by swell, right? And even we can hit 100% if swell really makes this pump, man. So again, let's wait and see this week and the next week, see how things play out, and then we'll probably be able to make a call. Anyways, negative momentum started. Nothing I can trace here yet. We had this divergence. I called it out yesterday. Yeah, I called it out yesterday. Look, we broke to the downside, right? So we were expecting it. Nothing like we were like super worried about this. And this is probably on the 1 hour, because this, you can see it here. So what else is happening, man? Sitting neutral on the RSI, 53.47. So let's go into the 1 hour, man. See, here's that divergence, man. Called it out yesterday. I said it's gonna play out, right? So look, man, we started breaking out. I think we were here doing the stream, maybe here, and then I told you price action to the downside, and look, we touched that 20 MA, like I said, we kind of rejected it, then we broke through. Then we have been struggling to get above it. We slightly got above it, but then we broke it back down, and still sitting around that, right? I just watched close. If news is not so great, sell fast. Yeah, dude, even through swell, a lot of people already know the news, right? So a lot of those rumors have already been going around. So a lot of people are gonna sell when they become real news. For example, like on halving, CME back, Bitcoin back. Yeah, all had price in before events, then dump. Yeah, exactly, man. You're right. You do make a valid point, and it did happen last year during swell as well. That nice pump that we looked at, they just started to dump right at swell. So, anyways, on the 1 hour, sitting below 20 MA with a lot of contraction starting to happen on the Bollinger Bands again. Touching that bottom part, it's probably good. We haven't gone back and touched this upper part in a while. So remember, the way Bollinger Bands usually work is you bounce from the top to the bottom, and then you try to go to the top again, and then you try to go to the bottom again, and then you're probably going to try to stick to the top again. But if you have volatility leaving and you go towards the top, more likely you're going to burst through and go higher. Anyways, where are we sitting at? We're sitting at 46.13 on the RSI. Again, very neutral. Something I can call here? Yes, man. We are certainly from here to here making some bullish divergence, right? On the 1 hour, we're starting to see the small bump, rejecting at the 20 MA, right? Trying to come still lower, but rejecting lower prices right now, right? But right now we're a little bit higher. So again, potentially that we keep on running to the upside, yes. But also another potential thing is that we come a little bit lower, right? Somewhere on here. And then we can create some more negative divergence from here to here. So, sorry, not that negative divergence, some bullish divergence. And then we try to pump to the upside, right? We don't have that going on right now on the RSI. We don't have this one playing out. We're going from a higher relative strength to a lower relative strength. Right now a little bit higher, but again, if we come to this low that I'm talking about, we might just go either somewhere around here, and then we can create also divergence on the RSI, and then we might be able to pump, right? But again, just keep it in mind, we might just run, or we might try to come down here and then touch something, close a candle, create more divergence, and then pump to the upside. Remember that we talked about this. If you go to the upper part again, phase resistance at the 20 MA, phase resistance at 29,894, which we have seen that we've been somewhere around this area, used it as support here, and we used it as resistance here. So again, we've used it as support and resistance a couple times. So I'm confident with this area that we might face a little bit of resistance. We can probably break through and then try to use it as support again, and then try to get above 31 cents. But like I said, man, the more we try to get above that area and the more we fail, the more likely it is that we're going to break the downside again. If you want to look at this as a structure of sorts on the 1 hour, and probably, man, I'll just go from here to here now. I have to like move this a little bit so I'm able to do this. So I'll pinpoint this on the top. The structure would say that you would go to the next height. That would be here, right? So we're breaking out. Since we're making still a higher high than the previous high, I'm going to use this one. And then from here to here, you'll be going like this. So again, you could be within a symmetrical triangle of sorts, if you wanted to call it that, right? Again, and if you break to the upside, you would hit a measure move of this triangle. which to the upside would put you at like 33 cents, and then to the downside will set you at 26 cents, right? Maybe what we need to create some like divergence on a larger scale, maybe the 4 hour, right? Maybe from here, like somewhere around here where we can create some divergence on the 4 hour, and then like really get propelled to the upside, right? So again, it's just potentials that can happen, right? Like I said, I'm laying out different ideas for you guys to play around with, see what you feel comfortable with, and then just basically go with that. So we've talked about potentials to the upside, we talked about potentials to the downside. I'll leave this triangle. I'm not sure if it's going to be valid or not. We might just burst through it, and then we'll just need to adjust. Like I said, I'm not really liking the way it looks right now. It would certainly be more like this. Nah, this is too far back. So yeah, from here to there, right? I'll leave it up for right now. I'm not sure if it's going to play out as expected, but anyways, if we are making this, we again will be making like a symmetrical triangle like we were making back here, right? We make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On all 5, we broke to the upside. Here we kind of like had a fake out. We broke to the downside again. But that's because Bitcoin went down. If Bitcoin doesn't go down, we might break to the upside again. So just keep it in mind, right? It's just something simple that it could potentially play out. It has played out. Again, the sentiment on Ripple is bullish. So keep it up, right? That's it. So again, back to the 1 hour. Trace that. Talked about it. We talked about where we're sitting at, volatility, where we're at, and yeah, that's it for Ripple. No news for Litecoin, so I'm going to jump straight into Litecoin dominance. There were some news for Litecoin, but it's about the stuff we talked about yesterday, right? Mining capacity dropping, etc., blah, blah, blah. Negative, losing dominance yesterday, 0.89. Gaining dominance today, 1.27, sitting at 1.57% of market cap. Really, right now with Litecoin, I really don't care where it sits at. I'll do the same analysis that I do for every coin, but Litecoin, let's just say I'm a little bit indifferent. I'm not holding any, and I'm not really pumped about it right now. It's just being really weak, and they're not really coming out with good news. They do have their event going on right now. I think it started today, and I haven't seen many news come out from that. So again, just that, like, you know, Charlie Lee's brother is coming out with his wallet that is going to be like a multi-token wallet. Ooh, you know, he's probably going to like come out with tokens for it, and then he's going to sell and do the same thing that his brother did, right? So again, I'm not too pumped for this. Let's see what it's doing, man. Sitting above that 20 MA with volatility expanded on the Bollinger Bands. Still within those more major downsloping channel. However, sitting above that 50% line. How are his shirt sales, dude? They're probably sucky, man. They cost him like 18,000, or I can't remember if it was like 28,000, and they just sold 20,000 worth of shirts. They can't even sell right? Anyways, sitting above that mid part of the channel. We are making we're within a slight upsloping channel here, within the more major downsloping channel, and we're within that upper part again above that 20 MA, sitting at 54.88 on the RSI, which is neutral, making positive momentum still. So again, not much developing here. We're still making positive momentum. Stuff I don't like, right? From here to here, going lower, right? This is still developing. So again, this can get canceled, right? But I'm just gonna point it out. So you're going lower right now, and from here to here, you're certainly going higher. So again, you're creating slant divergence, right? Still within the island, still within a couple bars. So again, it could play out. Depends on how you close this day, right? So again, I'm not sure if it's gonna play out or not, but just keep in mind that it's there and it's a possibility. So let's go into the 4 hours, man. Sorry, I get more water. So what is happening on this more minor scale? The 4 hours, right? Had divergence, right? I'm not sure if this is from like the 1 hour or something, but I do have those here. We had this bearish divergence develop here. Man, this is starting to get cluttered. We had this divergence, right? I said we were probably not going to make that high, so I'm just going to adjust right now to that lower, right? And then we were here, I guess, and it kind of dropped down. So this one didn't even get a chance to play out, right? We didn't make this divergence because we run to the downside before we close this 4 hour candle again. That didn't happen, and this one didn't happen because we're just going with the market here. But we're calling it out as a possibility. So we called this one out. We said price action to the downside, and look at that, man. Lo and behold, we got it. Hitting that 20 MA, bouncing off it, right? We also have a little bit stronger support coming out this next hour. We have the mid part of both channels crossing. So again, we could potentially hit that and run up to the upside, right? So I think for this on the 4 hours, sitting at 59.20 on the RSI. Certainly a little bit higher on that neutral zone, heading towards that bot area. Not yet hitting it, making less negative momentum. So again, I'm cool with this. So let's go into the 1 hour. Sitting above that 20 MA, man. See, we had this divergence here, right? So from here to here, here you're going slightly lower. Here we're definitely going lower, right? We talked about it. Potential playing out. Look at this, man. This candle here did play out on the 1 hour. That's what made it not play out in the 4 hour. So in the 1 hour, we developed this divergence, right? We're going slightly higher. So again, here we're going slightly lower, right? I think I deleted this from the 4 hours, but it was from the 1 hour that ended up being removed. I wanted to delete the other one from the 4 hours. Anyways, and we have it here. So again, this is what brought you to the downside on that 4 hour candle, right? And again, that's why you saw that not be as healthy as when we were tracing it yesterday. Anyways, yeah, like I said, price action to the downside, we got it. Week to break up of that 20 MA. Right now, we're trying to stay above it again. So again, is it good? Is it bad? Well, man, from here to here, you're certainly going a little bit lower, right? From here to here. And you're making less negative momentum again. So you are making, not on the other side, you don't have it, but you are making bullish divergence, strong bullish divergence. So again, price action to the upside, you are getting it right now. I'm not sure if this is going to keep on playing to the upside still. We might try to make positive momentum, or, you know, even if we make positive momentum right now, and we get to this high, we're definitely going to make more momentum than we were here. And this is all one island, right? This is like 0, 0, 1. So this is positive. So all this being one island, we do need to make something higher than this bar for us to not make, again, divergence, right? So that's it for Litecoin. I'm going to go into Binance. I do have 2 articles for Binance. Binance last week announced that it would be listing Blockstacks token for a listing fee of 0 Binance. So as per the Blockstack SEC filing, the company paid Binance 833,333 stack tokens up front, which is approximately $250,000, right? Like, this article is very short. It's like 3 lines. Sorry, 3 small paragraphs. So there's nothing I can shorten from it. I'm just going to read straight out of the article, guys. Sorry about that. But anyways, which is worth approximately $250,000 using Blockstack's Reg A plus general offering price of 0.30 each. Now, moreover, Blockstack agreed to pay Binance an additional 833,333 stacks, so another $250,000 annually in consideration for the stack token's ongoing and future listing. Now, a Binance spokesperson told the block that the listing fees only refer to the fees associated with the technical cost of getting the tokens listed on the platform, although it is not explicitly mentioned on Binance press release, and that what Binance received was a long-term payment. These guys, I think they're just like running in circles, right? Like, this guy, he's probably like just taking money, right? He said he's not gonna do it, but he just found another way to take money from the projects, right? For them to get listed. Now he's gonna say that it's probably insurance in case they get hacked, and it's that, and now it's not gonna be that. It's a donation, and, you know, whatever. He's gonna change his tune so long as he can keep on charging them. Anyways, the spokesperson further said that Blockstacks had been the first company to provide this type of payment. So again, they're changing the name of it. Blockstack CEO Munev Ali told the blog that this long-term payment is meant to watch out for the Blockstack's ecosystem by incentivizing Binance to list stacks over many years, and aligns well with our long-term focus. Now, a year ago, Binance announced that it would donate 100% of its listing fees through an in-house charity called the Blockchain Charity Foundation. Projects would be required to propose their own figures for a listing fee, which Binance would donate upon acceptance. When asked if Blockstack's long-term payment would be donated to charity, guess what? They said no, because it's not a listing fee, right? We're just taking their money. It's not a listing fee. But again, we do need that money to list them. But again, we're not going to donate it. So again, you know, they're just being shady right now. So when they're shady like that, I tend to get a little bit worried about these companies, right? Particularly because they're a large company. They do have a lot of stuff going on. They have some nice projects. But when they're playing like that, man, they already make a lot of money on fees from clients trading. So again, why do they need to take this money from the projects to get listed, right? Why do they ask for these donations? It's a technical listing fee. Really, how much are you going to pay those donations, man? Again, I just find it to be a little bit awkward, man. I'm not 100% with this article. Anyways, Changpeng Zhao has claimed that Chinese social network platform WeChat is using blockchain technology to track payments and receipts. Now, Just got word that WeChat in Shenzhen now puts receipts on the blockchain. That's what he's stating on his tweet. WeChat has been receptive to cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology in the past, which was highlighted by a partnership with the coin Rivet earlier this year. The legitimacy of the screenshot is currently unverified. However, the claim ties in with comments from China's President Xi Jinping, who last week said that the nation will seize the opportunity to adopt blockchain technology. We got talked about that yesterday. Anyways, WeChat Pay's parent company Tencent revealed on Thursday that the launch of Facebook cryptocurrency Libra would pose a serious threat to the company, and the statement actually read, "It is safe to play, resorting to the strategy of encircling the cities from the rural areas in which Libra coin could quickly enter markets with underdeveloped financial infrastructures, especially those that do not have a credible local currency of their own before it sets foot in developing markets," right? Anyways, that's what it's again another short article. Not much I could get from it, right? So let's go look at Binance, and then we're gonna look at Link, right? That's the one you wanted, Anonymous. So we're gonna go look at Link right after Binance. What is happening with this on the daily? Yesterday gaining dominance, right? 6.04%. Binance today gaining dominance still, 0.79. Again, recovering nicely. Price of Binance sitting at $20.38.40. Sorry, 20 and 40 cents. It just picked up again. Anyways, looking better than everyone else, right? Like upsloping on that momentum again. That's good. And that line still upsloping. You're certainly hitting bought areas. 64.640 right now. Anyways, still making that positive momentum, still moving to the upside. A lot of indecision candles going. Look at this one, man. It wrenched the whole upsloping channel that we drew. It hit like 20. When was this? Like three days ago. Hit 22.26, right? $22.26, and then it went at some point in time all the way down to $16, man. That would have been an amazing day to take a trade at that bottom and then sell it at that top. Anyways. Where are we at? We broke out of this downsloping channel that we were in. I'm going to try to extend it a little bit more. There we go. So we're within this upsloping channel right now. Sitting above that 20 MA, we've used it as support twice this past 2 days, right? And right now we're basically touching this mid part of the upsloping channel and using it as support. We're still making positive momentum again. Like I said, we are going higher on the daily, right? Right now we're going to here. This was over here because that's when we were doing the stream yesterday, right? Anyways, right now we're still going up, so we're going to here, and that momentum is still going here. So again, on the MACD, you would be making a bearish divergence, a strong bearish divergence, and on your RSI, you don't have it. So again, this is still developing, so we can keep on building on this until this becomes like higher, higher, and higher, and this just negates itself, right? But again, I'm just pointing it as a possibility, and it depends on your sentiment if you believe it is going to go down or up because you're bearish on Binance or you're bullish on Binance, right? So again, this can keep on developing, like I said, keep on running to the upside. You do have fibs that you got to get through, that 236 at 21.30, the 382 at 25.44, and that 50% at 28.78 would be your next resistances if you break to the upside. So again, let's wait and see how this keeps on playing out. I'm gonna reload this real quick and try to get another track going. There we go. I think this one's gonna be good. So that's it for Binance on the daily. Let's go into the 4-hour, man. On that 4-hour, like I said, man, we had this bull flag bump to the upside, you know, creating another sort of bull flag. If you want to, if you're seeing this, you might, if you follow us, you probably already know what I'm talking about, right? So impulse up, bull flag, impulse up, bull flag again, sorta. You know, we're eating up most of the bull, but anyways, bull flag nonetheless. So again, potentially that you break to the upside again, right? Just keep that in mind when you set up your trades. Like I said, you can keep on developing. From here to here, you develop bearish divergence. We talked about it, right? Going higher, you were going to here when we were doing the stream, so I'll just adjust. And I'll adjust that to here as well. Sorry, man. This one went much longer than this. No, this from the other, from a major chart. Sorry, man. I do gotta get this fixed. It just makes it look cluttered, and I don't like it. And things from the 1 hour show up everywhere else. Anyways, we also have this one here. Yesterday, we kind of undid it when I was doing the stream. I went a little bit higher, that's why I deleted it. But again, we have this divergence developing, right? Bullish, bearish divergence, sorry. Strong price action to the downside. We got it. We're talking about it being a possibility. Right now, we're bouncing off that mid part of the channel, right? Trying to hit higher highs. So let's wait and see how this keeps on playing to the upside again. We might run higher. We're going to make less positive momentum again. Or we're going to get exhausted with a little bit that we're going to pump to the upside, right? And then we're going to create divergence again. And then we're going to break down a little bit harder. Let's wait and see how this plays out, though. We could pump stronger and then negate that divergence, right? And that'll be fine. But I'm not sure we're going to pump up that hard yet. Anyways, sitting high on the RSI at 65.07. Again, being bought. That positive momentum decreasing. That's it for this. Let's go into the 1 hour, man. On the 1 hour. So we had this divergence played out to the downside. That's fine. We kind of knew that was going to happen. And from here to here, let's say, ignoring this back here, you're kind of going just with the market, right? You're going higher. Right? So again, no need for you to break down. Right now on the lowers, though, where is this at? 64114. 59. So again, this is slightly lower on that negative momentum. So again, from here to here, I'm just gonna set. I did it in the other chart. Sorry. I'm just gonna exaggerate it a little bit. So you'll be going like this, right? Slightly. And here you'll be going the opposite, right? You'll be going from here to here. Right, so you created some bullish divergence. You pumped to the upside, right? You're getting that play out right now. It's not very strong yet, but again, still pumping to the upside. So again, that's fine. Like I said, we just drew this flag. Let's wait and see how this keeps on playing out. Trying to see what else is going on, man. I want to see us make positive momentum. If we do, here we certainly have a chance to go higher than our previous high and make more positive momentum. It's just going to depend on how hard we can pump. We're sitting quite neutral on the RSI 58.01, so we have a lot more room to run to the upside than we do on the more major scales, right? Now, did we create negative divergence in any of this? No, this is all positive. No, we here have a negative island. So again, negative island here, positive island here. So if I go all the way back here, right, to see that we're sitting at 1407, here would be like 122. So again, this would be slightly higher than this. If you wanted to look way back and ignore all these islands that happened, and you want to be bearish, you can certainly go from here to here. And you could go from here to here and say you're going lower, you're going higher, you're also going lower on your RSI. Or then you can say, man, I'm going to be bearish on this, and, you know, screw that. I believe this is going to crash. I don't believe this is the case. We are ignoring a lot of data. I don't like it when we ignore data like that, unless it's shorter time scale, right? Like from here to here, I would choose to ignore this, right? Because we didn't make any negative divergence. Sorry, not any negative momentum, right? So again, it just depends on what you look at. That's it for Binance. Anonymous, now I'm gonna go do that link that you wanted to look at, right? Sorry that it took so long to run through the market, but you know, I really wanted to get things through. And thank you guys for being here. I know I started an hour later than usual. I did say that I'm running in a different time zone right now than you guys are, so I already fell an hour back this past weekend. I'm gonna catch up with you when you guys fall back this next weekend, and then Sunday stream we should be back to regular time scale, time zone, time frame for the stream, right? But this week I am gonna be running an hour later than usual. Anyways, let's start on the daily with Link. What is going on, man? Well, certainly off the bat, some divergence here. Are you going slightly higher? You're going lower, right? You're going lower on your RSI. So you have bearish divergence, price action to the downside. You are seeing it play out. I'm not sure if it's done yet. You could still go down, right? Touch that 20 MA certainly is a possibility, right? And even fall below that 20 MA is a possibility. Now we're starting to make negative momentum. It's very little. I would like to see this. It would be nice if this came down here. But right now where we're sitting at and with the momentum that we're making, I do believe that if we move down here, we're gonna make more negative momentum and we're not gonna get that bullish divergence that we would like to see. Anyways, other stuff that could happen. We drop a little bit more, right? And then we create one of these things where we go like this, and then over here on the bottom part we go like this. And we could create some hidden bullish divergence that could potentially pump to the upside, right? So again, I'm not sure if this is done playing out, man. I could expect for this to go out down a little bit more, but again, like I said, I'm not sure. On the more minor scales, we might get better clues as to what might happen. This is just for the daily. Again, sitting high at 61.34, you're hitting bought areas, so you tend to want to come back to a neutral zone before you run, reset a little bit. So again, going a little bit down is not out of the realm of possibilities. And you're having that, you're losing that volatility, and you're starting to see it here, where you're coming from larger waves and going to like smaller waves, right? Anyways, let's go into the 4 hour. So really quick, right, from here to here, I'm ignoring this island because it was a small bump and it really didn't affect it. Right, and we can see that we had that price action to the downside. So again, bearish divergence, and you also have it here. So I'm trying to look, while I'm doing this, I'm trying to look over here, see if we got something going on, right? So right now I can see that we have something going on. From here to here, right, you're going slightly lower, and from here to here, you're definitely going lower, lesser on your negative momentum again. Not so much on your RSI. In your RSI, you're actually going lower. So here, against the MACD histogram, you would be developing bullish divergence. Price action to the upside, you're starting to get it play out. If you try to run to the upside, you're probably going to face resistance at that 20 MA. And if you break it, then you might be a little bit better off. Just worried that you're doing nothing, right? This was like a very small, it's still negative actually. So, and you have not made a positive island here. So if you pump to the upside, right, even to this level, you might get something higher than this on that positive momentum and negate, or not create any kind of bearish divergence that could break you down. So again, right now, this is just what's happening on the 4 hour. Sitting neutral at 48.84. That volatility leaving the Bollinger Bands, again, starting to contract a little bit, right? This slightly curving in, this slightly curving downwards. Yeah. Let's go into the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, right? Really quick, on the shorter frame, on the shorter time, right? Again, bearish divergence, price action to the downside. Guess what? Seeing it play out, right? Here as well. High to lower high. Right? I'm trying to see on the bottom part. Because we are developing some sort of bullish divergence, I think. So we're here going lower, and then you'll be going from, where is this? This would be 1325, 1287. So again, you're going slightly lower, right? Even if I put it here, man, just to have it equal, right here or here, right? They're all more or less the same bottom. Still, anywhere from here to here, you're going lower, right? You're creating that bullish divergence that could potentially pump you to the upside, right? So again, we're trying to see that play out right now. Sitting below 20 MA, again, you can face that 20 MA as resistance on the 1 hour. The question is, you have it here, you don't have that divergence, right? You're going lower still on your RSI and you were previously. So again, you just have that divergence developing on the MACD histogram. And yeah, I'm trying to see how this is gonna play out, man. You can, if you go to the upside, I'm not sure how high you're gonna get. Right? I'm not sure if you're gonna get to this high again, real quick. I'm trying to look at a more major picture. Give me 1 second, man. I'm gonna look at the 4 hour and see what we're doing. Trying to see if I can get a pattern going on, like a channel wedge. Something that would indicate what could happen, right? So again, this is very short time, man. There's a high possibility that this is not going to be very reliable because we're talking about a very short time frame. We're talking about like basically this is October the 23rd at 7 a.m. until today. So again, we certainly have this kind of like triangle going on, symmetrical triangle. We're maturing in the pattern, so we should see a breakout soon. Again, if you don't want to go way back here and you go somewhere around here, you could go like this, and it would still be a symmetrical triangle. We wouldn't be doing a down-sloping triangle, which would be a little bit more worrisome that would break to the downside. But right now, it just looks a little bit symmetrical. I'm going to choose this point. This point is a little bit more neutral. Because because right now we don't know if we're gonna break to the upside or downside, or we're just kind of curving and decreasing that curve, right? We're going like this, from a wilder to like softer. Then we're gonna burst somewhere, upside or downside, right? But that's kind of like what's going on, right? You can see it, like this is low, right? Higher low, lower high than the previous low, lower high than the previous high. Now a slightly lower low than the previous low, but again, you know, still within this structure that we're tracing. So again, potentially we could keep on running to the upside, right? If you want to do one trend line just to see where we're going, this looks like that, right? So again, we're up sloping right now. So we're up sloping since way back here, right? Anyways, that's it for a link. Let's go into the 1 hour for a link. I'm not sure if we talked about this. Fibonacci? Yeah, sure, man. I can throw some fibs. See if it's. Try to see if I can do it on the daily. So I'm gonna go from low to high, right? The question is which low. I'm gonna take this as a low because the more major low that we have. So I'm gonna go from low to high in the fibs. Then I'm actually gonna run this over here. Just making sure I do have it sort of a point. Right, so from low to high, we kind of hit that retrace area, sorry, did I trace this the other way? No, I did trace it right. So we hit this high, right? Being the higher high that we made. We're starting to hit that retrace. We hit that valid retrace zone at 236, being that $2 and what was it here? $2.71, right? And right now we're sitting in between that $2.71 and that 382, right? So again, you do usually tend to run somewhere on here before you actually run to the upside again. So there's a chance you still might go to the downside. You have that divergence going on. Like I said, that 382 would be the beginning of the most common retrace zone for fibs, and I'll try to throw a rectangle, right? That retrace zone is from here to here, right? That's usually where you would see most of the retrace happen. From 382 to that 618. Usually the 50% line you would certainly hit and then retrace, right? But right now you're making a valid retrace. You're trying to like reverse it, and you could, man. This is not. This is potentially a confirmed area of retrace, right? That 236. That's where you can begin to have retraces. So you could confirm this as a valid high. But again, this could certainly pump again and move this a little bit higher, and it wouldn't be out of the ordinary, right? But if you want to go with something a little bit more immediate on the fibs and ignore this larger picture that we just drew, right, from like many days, we could go from this low, right? Because from here, again, I'll do this from this low, but more maybe from here to here, right? Using this as a high, we did have that retrace to that 50%, and then we run up again, right? So again, we already retraced once, valid retrace. So I could go from this low to this high, right? And then we would be within that 382 and that 50%, which is when you have your valid retraces. And then you would have had some point in time, well, just run to the upside, and that's where you're sitting at, right? You quite haven't yet touched that 50%. But again, this is just different ways of looking at the information, right? It depends on what you really want to look for when you do this. So again, in the 4 hours, it might look a little bit different, right? Because then I could, again, consider this as the low and go high. But then again, here I would have a retrace that would certainly hit something and then hit a little bit higher, right? So again, I'll go from here to high. Okay, we more or less have that same picture going on. From low to high, I'm gonna ignore this one. So if I go from here to here, I would have already hit a valid retrace and then run again. But on the daily, we don't have it. So again, this is really depending on what you're looking for when you do this, right? And like I said, the simpler that you keep analysis, the better it is, man. The more complicated you make it, the more you look for that, man, this is gonna go to the upside indicator. You're gonna find it, man. And I played a clip a couple days ago from an interview that someone did to Eric Crown from Crown's Crypto Cave or whatever it's called, his stream. And he was stating that same thing, right? If you want to look for an indicator that will tell you to sell, you'll find one. If you want to look for an indicator that's going to tell you to buy, you'll find one. So again, it all depends on your outlook on the market. The simpler it is, the more accurate you usually are. And no joking, just by going with divergences and some like basic patterns and like, you know, flags, symmetrical triangles, wedges, we've been fairly accurate, man. And you can ask anyone here. So again, I usually don't like fibs very much. I use them sometimes to see retraces, but I don't want to rely on fibs to see what's going to go on, right? Usually if I'm worried about if we've hit a retrace area or not, but usually I want to focus more on creating divergence or something along those lines, right? So again, fibs, you can fib from here to here, but if you fib to here, you certainly hit a retrace to that 618, right? From this low to this high, you hit the 618 straight on, and then you kind of bounce back up again. So like I said, you know, this would be considered a valid retrace. Again, would you take this as your low and this as your new high? Right, so from this low to this high, you already hit that 618, right? You're kind of bouncing off it right a couple times, and then you could certainly bounce back up again. It wouldn't be unheard of, right? And it's all valid, man. It all makes sense looking at fibs, right? So again, looking at the different frames that we looked at, right, and different anchoring points, it just all makes sense still. So what do you feel comfortable with, right? Do you believe that we have not yet hit a valid retrace by going with a much larger anchoring point? Or would you rather go with this one on the more micro and said, man, we hit a valid retrace, we're going to run to the upside? Because in one of the cases, you're likely to run to the downside, and in the other one, you're likely to run to the upside now. Unless you do a deep retrace to the 786, touch somewhere on here, and then run to the upside. And that would still be fine, man. You know, like I said, man, the simpler you do it, the better it is, man. So I'm going to get rid of this. Yeah. Did the fibs kind of work for you, anonymous user? Do let me know in the comments. I do try to be as honest as I can with you guys here. So again, I just throw fibs every now and then. I don't use them every day. Much rather look for other patterns developing, right? That we could look at more major ones, different ones, you know, whatever. So on daily, right? It looks like you're making kind of like an upsloping wedge, and that's not good looking, right? Gartley? Yeah, I don't like to do Gartleys, man. Harmonics, you mean? Like Gartleys, bears, bats, crabs. Yeah, I don't like to do those, man. Yeah, not my style of trading. They don't go with me. I haven't done them in a while. And they're just based on like fibs, man. So again, I don't do very much on fibs. So, does anyone have any other coins that you want me to look at? I know there's like usually requests that come in for BAT, so I'm gonna look at that real quick because we even looked at BAT yesterday, right? And we said, man, bearish divergence, price action to the downside, and guess what? We got that price action to the downside, right? Anyways, we don't have it on the RSI, just on the MAC, the histogram. Right, we had this developed, right? This was at least until October 25th. We said we're gonna go to the downside. Here we had like hidden breakthrough analysis. Yeah, man. Like I said, it really depends on what you want to see and what you want to anchor, man. If you're looking for bearish signals because you're feeling on the market is bearish, you're just gonna look for like the stuff that's gonna tell you to go down. if you want to look at bullish signals because your outlook in the market is bullish, then you're going to look for signals that tell you that it's going to go up. And that's why you have all these guys coming out with like crazy projections of saying like, man, we're going to hit like 100,000 by the end of so-and-so year, man. It's like, whatever, man, you know. Predict what's going to happen the next 2 or 3 days and be accurate, and then I'll believe that you're going to hit that in like 5 years. Otherwise, you know, just like, to me, it doesn't make sense. How are you getting to that number, man? You know, here we said price continuation, man. It's a continuation likely to the upside, right from this hidden bullish divergence because we're in an uptrend. And guess what, man? We get that price action continuation to the upside, and that we called yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. So anyways, or Sunday. I'm not sure when we looked at this, but Sunday or yesterday we called it and we said we're gonna go to the upside. We went to the upside. Anyways, nothing going on the top part. Here we're not making a lower low. Anyways, if we make a lower low than this, so from here to even to this line, right, to a straight line, but any lower, we're probably not gonna make that much more negative momentum, and we're gonna create some bullish divergence and pump to the upside, right? So again, just a possibility that could potentially play out for BAT, and that would potentially pump you to the upside. Right now, being weak around the 20 MA, pumping you to the downside. Let's go to the 1 hour. I don't like this 1 hour chart because we get a lot of chop. Is this one better? Slightly, but not quite, right? I don't like this chart because it doesn't have too much data going back. So I'm gonna use this one. You can see that we're within this uptrend, right? So I'm not worried yet. So we had this divergence right here also, going to the upside. We're going to the upside. Again, high, lower high, lower high. So again, nothing going on here that's scary yet. So yeah, not much going on here, man. Yeah, we don't make wild predictions here, man. I'm not even gonna tell you what the price is gonna be, man. I'm just gonna tell you how the market's gonna move. Then I might tell you like potential targets that you can hit, and like places that you can go to. But again, like, it doesn't matter if you believe it's gonna do the opposite, right? So again, it's up to you and your risk appetite. You know how much risk averse you are right now, how you're seeing the market, what your sentiment is with overall crypto right now, world information going on, right? Wars, trade wars, whatever. So again, keep it simple, man. That's worked for me for a long time. We're fairly accurate, like I said, with predictions of price movements. Just by being simple, man. Like most of the times we don't use fibs. Most of the times we just do like channels, divergence, look at how things are going with the momentums and the RSI. Every now and then I'll even use the hack and the sheet candles to look at trends and see where we're at. Right now we're in a negative trend, right? We're all like sloping down here. So right now we're starting to turn, right? The trend has been positive, right? But again, look, these 3 negative candles, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, right? So again, we could potentially run to the upside with the hack and the sheet. We are in an uptrend, so again, we're looking good when we use these candles, right? You can see it. These candles are used to like spot trends, right? So like trend shifts on momentum. See if we're gonna go like not momentum necessarily, but see if we're starting to like have that trend change. Right now, I believe next candle might be a little bit green. You know, we are in an uptrend. Wouldn't be unheard of if we drop and touch that 20 MA. We haven't touched it in a while, man. We haven't touched it since October the 5th. So again, most of this month has been very bullish for BAT. Going from like the low of 14 cents all the way to like 27 cents. Yeah, 27 cents. So again, dude, if you were holding this, you almost hit 100% increase on your money, right? If you bought at the low. Again, not the lowest low, because down here would have been nice to have. But again, this would have been in February. But the most nearest one would have been, could have been a good in. Yeah, man, could have been a good in. We weren't doing an analysis for this back then. This is all post facto because we started looking at BAT like this month maybe. And yeah, so 351, 678. So yeah, from here to here, I mean, if we would have done analysis back then, and like I said, looking at things from way back and looking at them from right now, it's just much easier to like call things out, right? You can see that this is going lower, right? I looked at the numbers. That would be 278. This would be 351. So again, higher, more negative momentum, less negative momentum, right? So you're going in, you're converging on the bottom part, making a bullish divergence. Slip my mind there for a second. And then here we'll also have it a little bit more pronounced than you have it under MACD. But anyways, price action to the upside. If we were following this daily, we would have probably called it and said, dude, we're probably gonna move to the upside, right? Maybe make another red candle or two more red candles, but likely to break to the upside because we're creating divergence. And you know, we would have probably been spot on, but you know, we weren't analyzing, someone will remove it because then that's it. Yeah. So again, dude, you have to use what works for you, right? When you do trading, you use what works for you. Some people like to do like all sorts of stuff, man, right? I look for patterns, head and shoulders, chart, like candlestick patterns, right? Like morning stars, tweezer bottoms, tweezer tops, evening stars, like 3 white soldiers, 3 black crows, you know, whatever I can find that would tell me where the market is going to go, that I've used before and it's worked for me, that are usually like bullish signs or bearish signs that I can rely on. I would use those, right? Like gravestone dojis, like, you know, dragonflies, you know, whatever, you name it, there's stuff that works, right? And like I said, I like to do usually more trend-like stuff, so. But yeah, that's it, man. We just look at that. So if there's no other requests, I think David, he told me he works late, so I know he likes XLM, so I'm gonna do XLM real quick, and then if nothing else, I'll just call it a night. So where are we on XLM, man? Shit, well, we're getting some really hardcore indecision bars going on. Look at it, daily, yeah. Snap, look, spinning top, positive spinning top, still going higher. So again, we're in a slight uptrend. You can see right from here to here. I had it highlighted already. I do have some fibs here because we're talking about potential retrace areas, and you've seen that we kind of hit that 382, but we hit it a couple times and faced it and rejected it. Right from here onwards, we rejected that 382. Until right now, we're basically sitting above it with this candle. Are we gonna stay above it? I'm not sure, man. Anyways, still making positive momentum, sitting high on the RSI at 56.0. 60.97, sorry, it just changed. 55.97. Again, neutral, but certainly going to a higher area. Are we doing something here? Well, no, not really, man. You're still below this high and making less positive momentum. And what I'm worried right now is that if you get to here, you're probably going to be lower than this, and you're going to create some sort of divergence. Like, it's going to break it to the downside, unless you really keep on pumping hard, and then, you know, negate it. So let's go into the 4 hour, man. On the 4 hour, sitting over that 20 MA with some contraction on the Bollinger Bands. Starting to lose that positive momentum. Sitting at 58.42 on the RSI. Again, neutral, but heading towards that area. Stuff I can see quickly, right? Why you move to the downside? Well, it's easy, man. You went from here to here, right? You're going higher. Here you're going lower, right? And right now you're trying to pump again. You don't have anything on the bottom part, so nothing I can call there. And on your RSI, you're going with the market, so you're lower, right? Higher on your RSI, so again, it makes sense with your price action. And that's it for this, man. Again, not much. Again, that 20 MA really cradling you, right? You sit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, right? At least in the past, this is 26, so in the past 2 days, you've really used that 20 MA to like support you and carry you up, man. You know, that's going to break you to the downside. You were seeing that break, probably in the 1 hour, we were creating some sort of divergence. Bullish, that's going to pump us to the upside. But again, that's it for this in the 4 hour. Nothing else I'm seeing right now. So let's go to the 1 hour. We're making something here. Let's see. So, maybe here or here. I'm gonna go here. That's fine. And then from here to here, you're having hidden bullish divergence. So again, price continuation, right? We're in an uptrend, so okay, your continuation to the upside. Trying to look at a more close scale, man. So again, even from here to here, you're more or less making that same low on price. So it's very negligible if you're going off right there. I don't think you can even see that spot. So anyways, it's a straight line. And then you'll be going from here to here. You will be creating bullish divergence. That'll be class B type 2 medium bullish divergence, right? Price action to the upside, you're getting that play out nicely, right? Right now, you're kind of breaking down here. Why? Because from here to here, you have some bearish divergence, right? So you're going from here to here. Then from here to here, right? Lower. Here, you're going higher, so you just have it on the RSI. That's breaking into the downside again. Here, probably Bitcoin moved to the downside. We'll just follow suit. And from here to here, you're actually going lower. So from here to here. Alright, so I'll take this one here because it's more or less the same low here. Then I can really take this one and go from here, right? And say, look, man, you're creating a bullish divergence, not on the RSI, but on the MACD. So again, price action to the upside, you are pumping, right? That's what we're seeing play out. And right now, you're not making any positive momentum, so you have to make positive momentum. If you make positive momentum and create a higher high, and you at least get to here, but here you're still negative. So even if you get to here, right, and where you're sitting at, you can certainly get here and make more positive momentum still. So again, you know, XLM still needs to develop a little bit more right now. Usually when we are developing stuff and we're in the stream, I will tell you guys, and I will leave, and if you follow this routinely, you'll know, I'll say, like, I'll leave the bars out, and I'll say, look, man, if you get to this bar and you don't break it, you're going to create divergence, and then you're probably going to do that and that and that, right? And I'll also put in the price, and I'll say, look, the price, so long as you can stay above this or below this, you're going to create that divergence, and then you're probably going to do this and that. And that's because it's still developing when we're in the stream. Like I said, going back and calling things in the past is really easy. Like, so, oh man, we had divergence, of course we were going to go to the upside, you know? Yeah, whatever, man. Do it live and do it while it's playing out, like we've done before. And sometimes we have to end the stream because, you know, we're not going to be here 24 hours. But again, we do let you know what could happen so you guys are informed and you can tell what's going to happen. And then usually the next day I'll come in and say, look guys, I told you this was going to happen. It was a possibility. Or you could have negated it. So again, yeah, well, I'll let you know what things are going to potentially do. And then you guys make your call, right? Because that's the way we roll. Anyways, does anyone want to look at a coin in particular? If no one has any like requests for a coin, I'll probably like end the stream in like the next couple of minutes or so. I'll just go look at the Bitcoin real quick, see how it closed the past hour. I haven't gone back to it. So again, nice green candle going on right now. Again, we had this bullish divergence that we called out. So again, let me close this real quick. I'm gonna reload this and play something from this playlist, I guess. Yeah, it's nice. So again, like I said, dude, we had this divergence. We said bullish, right? I called it out when the stream started, and we're somewhere around here. I'm not sure if I had this charted when the stream started or not, but we're here. And look, man, you know, I said this probably still gonna run to the upside, touch that 20 MA. If you were here at the beginning of the stream, dude, you probably heard it. And look, man, we are running up still, right? So again, simple, man. We didn't have to do any fibs. We didn't have to go and do any Gartleys, harmonics, or whatever. You know, we're running with what we have. Simple is better. You know. Yeah, we're running up right now with Bitcoin. What can I say? We called it. So let's go into Ethereum, man. This divergence, right? Here we had this hidden bearish divergence, price continuation, right? We called it. We said potentially gonna keep on moving sideways. Right now we're kind of gapping here. I don't like it when the charts have gaps. This one looks a little bit better. And we're running up because Bitcoin is running up, right? Again, remember, the market is going to usually do what Bitcoin does. So again, here we don't look like we have it here. 0.62, 0.48. Yeah, this is slightly going in. So again, here you would have your bullish divergence, right, that we had. From here. And where did I have that other one? On the top part here. So from here to here. On this chart, we don't have it, man. Oh, here, are we making a positive island? Yeah, oh. We kind of do have it, right? It's from here to here, slightly low. From here to here, slightly high. Yeah, from here to here. So anyways, price continuation. Like I said, sideways motion, right? So we're going hitting this top part right now. We might start to break down a little bit, and or we can run up to this 236, right? And then we'll see where we go from there. But anyways, our previous high where we would really chart something to here, because this one's just like a minor bump, would be this one. This is higher, and it certainly looks higher than that. 13, 20. So from here to here, you'll be creating that. So from here to here right now, you would be creating that hidden bearish divergence. That would mean price continuation. So again, your price continuation, it's more or less sideways right now, but it's going to depend on what Bitcoin does. So again, just keep that in mind. Let's go look at Ripple. Ripple try to pull for higher prices, but rejecting them, right? Like I said, man, we're probably going to touch that 29-cent 20 MA breakdown. You know, not looking the best right now for Ripple, but again, within the triangle, right? I'm not sure if when I started the stream, I drew this triangle when the stream started, I think. I don't believe I had it before. So it's not like we touched it. I use this as an anchor. Anyways, we're probably going to touch this, and we'll see what happens, right? We could certainly come down here again. If we touch this in this hour, or we create some sort of divergence and then pump, maybe. But Ripple, anyway, still floating around. So I'm not worried with Ripple, man. Long-term outlook for Ripple looks good right now. Litecoin. We had that divergence, right? We called it out. We said, look, price action to the upside. Same as Bitcoin, still pumping, so nothing there. And Binance as well, right? So again, we're just going with what we said, and it's playing out, right? I exaggerated it because it looks more or less flat, but this is higher, right? This is 6411, and this is 59. So this is lower negative momentum, right? So again, I'll exaggerate it so you know that we're making like strong bullish divergence. Price action to the upside. We're seeing it play out. We're breaking out of this flag, right, that we have of sorts. So again, if we break the flag, a measure move of the pull here, potentially, and then that would be a measure move for it to hit it. But right now we're starting to move outside of that flag, which is good, right? We said it's a bull flag, potential price action to the upside. Yeah, that's it. So again, a quick run through the market at the end of the stream, usually what we do. And yeah, if there's no more questions, I will call it a night, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Again, if you like what we do, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Show this to your friends. Talk to them about crypto. Let them know that we're here. Retweet our tweets. Join us on Instagram, Discord, Facebook. You know, I'm not as active on all of them. Usually on Twitter, I'm active, and I do respond when people type stuff to me there. Discord as well. I try to post stuff there. Instagram right now I'm struggling because with my day job and still having to come home, prepare the stream, do everything, I don't have time to do quirky images that I can post online. I do have a lot of ideas that I keep writing down for images that I want to post online, but at some point in time I'm going to have to make time for me to do that. And again, Twitter, I do try to tweet and like comment on other people's stuff. I guess some people don't like what I tweet because yeah, I got blocked by someone. But again, I'm going to tell the truth, right? Someone was saying like Bitcoin Cash. I think it was Roger Ver. He was saying that Bitcoin Cash is like the next logical and best coin ever because it's faster than Bitcoin. I was like, dude, Ripple is faster than that. So, you know, if I don't think he banned me, but I'm pretty sure he didn't like my comment either. Anyways, I am crypto neutral. I do like all cryptos equally. That's how I have to do in the stream. So again, yeah, we're pulling back now. See, a little bit. Anyways, guys, that's it for tonight. Again, thank you all for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a great beginning of the week. I hope you have a great Tuesday tomorrow. I'll catch you tomorrow night again. I'm here daily. So, yeah, enjoy your night. Yeah, thanks, guys.